Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to look at conditional statements in C#. How conditional statements work. There are three types of conditional statements that we're going to mention today. One of them, the most popular one, is if-else statement. The second one is switch statement. And the third one we're going to look at ternary operator, which is a short for like if-else. So these are the three types of statements. In this video, we're going to look at in more detail about if-else statement. So if there's only one condition that is required to be met for a certain block of code to be executed, you can just have simply if, like if age is greater than 18 and you're allowing certain sale, or maybe in a games you are allowing the next stage after a certain condition being met. Then you can have simply one if statement. But if there are more than two conditions, so if the first one is correct, this block of code will be executed. If this block of code is false, if this condition is false, then it will move on and automatically execute this block of code. This is based on two conditions. But if there are more than two conditions, then you might need to have if condition, then if, else if, then else if, and then else if, and then else. If there are a lot of conditions, personally I would prefer to use switch statement instead of if-else statement. So let's see now in the next program how if-else works in C#. So let's open our Visual Studio as an editor for the C# code. Right, so we open Visual Studio and let's create a new project. New project, I can create this one as well, but it doesn't have that template of those classes and libraries. So I prefer this one, .NET Framework. Whatever you choose, they're all the same. So I'm going to give it a name. Let's say conditional if-else. So this is one of my project name. Yeah, so when you open with the .NET Framework, you have this structure of your project, project name, your class name, and your main method automatically with some of these packages and libraries. I don't think we will need these in this program, so I'm going to just delete this. This is the starting point of our application. So just for short, you can type CW tab. I can type just here if-else conditional statement. It's just something that we can see on the screen, just to test that how this code works. Right, it does work, but it does not hold the screen for longer. It just displays the screen, the result, and disappear. So to hold the screen, we can use this statement. Okay, so we can use console.read key just to hold the screen. So if I execute this now, if-else condition statement. So it just simply shows that my code so far works. So what I'm going to do now, ask user to enter a score, a mark, from let's say 1 to 100. So we are expecting someone to enter a score. Let's say this is your score for your grade for any subject. So let's say whatever physics, chemistry, maths, biology, or C#. So you have certain score. At that score, we want to take input from the user. Based on that, we're going to determine what is the grade, right? So I'm going to take the user input, and I'm going to create a variable int score equal to, if you remember in the previous program, I explained how to take the user input. To take the user input, I have console.read key or console.read line. But now if I do this, it gives me an error message. It says that cannot implicitly convert type string to int, because by default whatever we enter is a string, and the string cannot be stored in score. So we have two options, int.parse, or you can type the built-in method here, convert dot to int 16 for short, 32 for int, and 64 for long, which I explained in my previous video. So what it does, we are doing two things at the same time. With the help of this statement, we are taking user input. And with the help of this statement, we convert that input into integer to store it here. Now, I'm going to compare that score. If score is greater than or equal to, let's say, 90, then it should print me your grade is A. Right? So let's test this. So if I have a score between 90 and 100, let's say 92, so it prints your grade is A. But if I enter, let's say my grade is 77, so there's no arrangement for that. So that means I have more than one condition, so I need a few else-if statements here. So in the next, I'll just say if else-if score is greater than or equal to 80. That means anything between 80 and 79, that should actually create me a grade B. As you can see here, so if the score is 90 or greater than 90, that means up to 100, then we are expecting it should print A on the screen. If the score is equal to or greater than 80, it should be B. I can just simply copy this a few times and paste it just to make things a bit easier. So if I want to calculate C, so anything greater than C or equal to C, then the grade that I'm expecting should be C. I'm going to do it one more time here for grade D. So let's say 50. Anything greater than or equal to 50 or less than 70, that will be considered as grade D. Or maybe if you want to make it 60, let's say 60, yeah. So anything between 60 and 69, the grade will be considered as D. And one more, if anything between, let's say 50 and 59, that will be considered as grade E. Right? So we have this arrangement now. Anything more than 90 or 90, that's A. Then we have B, we have C, we have D, and anything between 50 and 59, that will be E. So let's say anything less than 50 will be considered as fail. So let's say you type here. I want this prefer more like in this indentation order, to be honest, to make it the code look good. So I'll just type here else. Anything other than this, that means you can say unfortunately you failed. Try again. So this is a program which is actually based on quite several conditions. So we started with one condition, then two conditions, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we have any A, B, C, D, E grade, it will be picked up in these if-else statements. Anything which is not in these grade, that means less than 50, will be considered as fail. So let's try again and run this code. So you can see it here more clearly. Just remove that. As you can see, this is the whole code. This is the user input. This is the if-else statement. Yeah, and this one is just holding our screen. So that's all the code that we have so far. So I press F5. It says enter a score from 1 to 100. or maybe you can say between 1 and 100. So let's say if I entered 56, my score is E, based on my input. Enter a score, I think it's better to say between 1 and 100. So let's say if I execute this again by pressing F5, or just simply that play button, if I enter now, let's say 89, so my grade is B. And if I run this again, there's a better way to execute the code like this in a loop, which I will explain later. Let's say I enter the score as 33. Unfortunately, you failed. Try again. So this is a simple if-else statement here, as you can see on this screen. If you go to next screen, this is your task now. You need to ask user to enter a salary amount, like anyone they can enter a salary, or maybe enter salary for an employee, and then you need to calculate tax on that salary based on the following condition. So if the salary is up to 12,570, the text should be as 0 printed on the screen for that salary. If the salary amount entered is between 12,571 to 50,270, the system should calculate tax 20% on the salary amount entered, 40% for amount between these two numbers. Or if the salary amount is more than 125,140, then the system should calculate 45% tax. So please produce the code for this task. The code is actually provided in the description of this video, but try not to look at it. Okay, based on the if-else statement, calculate yourself, and once you do, please share your code in the comment. Thank you for watching.